So, hello, secret code name Ancient Memory, and welcome to the full moon in Gemini mirror analysis readings. This reading is going to help you understand where your perspectives may be keeping you stuck because they're short-sighted, or a better way of explaining it would be low-sighted, where the vibrational alignment of the perspective is lower than your goal in which to ascend to, right? It's going to kind of help you see and understand where you're stuck. So in this reading, you have presented as the Two of Pentacles, with the Seven of Wands below you and the Four of Swords above you. The Nine of Wands in the reversed is the past that is keeping you from moving forward. And the Hanged Man is where Spirit would like you to look instead. And then I have some guidance cards from my White Light Oracle. You've received Anapausis and Sacred Star. So what this means, okay? The Two of Pentacles being where you are, the card that is representing you. You are dealing with this battle between your ideal self, the way you picture yourself ideally, and the reality. Okay. Little do you see, there's blessings in the reality, right? There's a reason why it is not your ideal yet. I think what you're truly having to see is that you have been defending your ideal self within your reality, the real self, for so long that you've lost sight of just simply loving the ideal version that you are. The Nine of Wands in the reverse is this energy of refusing to be wounded, right? This refusal to give up, this display of strength, and yet holding that kind of energy up is exhausting. Constantly defending the self is exhausting. The Seven of Wands below the Two of Pentacles is this super defensive energy that I'm picking up on. You don't have to sell the idea that you are the ideal, even if you don't look or feel or think ideally yet. It's almost like, who are you trying to prove it to? The ideal. Someone else or to yourself? The Four of Swords above you is asking you to please rest. Take a break from defending yourself. Take a break from convincing yourself or others that you are ideal. And just simply accept the fact that you are. Right? The Hanged Man is Spirit asking you to put heart over head decisions. If you are ideal and you truly love yourself and everything that you do, what do you have to show or prove other than just simply being? It's almost like it's asking you to give yourself the mental break. You don't have to try so hard. You don't have to exhaust yourself in the projection of not being wounded. Because the Nine of Wands is essentially a wounded warrior card. Yes, you've been through a lot. And yes, a lot of people leave those situations wounded. You are well aware. But you don't have to convince anybody that you're not. Yourself included. It's just simply accepting the fact and the reality that you're not. And when you can accept that you're not wounded in the reality, you can also accept that you have reached an ideal state of self and that that is your reality. and everything else catches up. The moment you make that conscious awareness decision. The guidance cards, Anapausis, says, because I'm going to read some for you. It says, do not give up, but allow your heart to disengage from your struggles. Give yourself much needed rest. You are in a phase of recovery. If you have been off your path, you are going to come back strong. You will regain your spark of passion, inspiration, and devotion. A certain order of events needs to take place for your soul path to come to fruition. Commit yourself to the sacred journey, trusting that the right thing will happen at the right time. The Greek word anapausis refers to the cessation of work so that one can regain strength, new vitality, and heightened creative productivity. It is a rest for success. The Oracle of Anapausis advises physical, emotional, and psychological rest to reset yourself. That might mean switching off without fear or guilt. It is likely to mean giving up worries and the constant replay of anxiety-ridden speculations. Find some spaciousness and pleasure within and around yourself, so you may experience healing and renewal. If you have been considering working with healers or as one, this is confirmation to pursue such a path. This oracle recognizes there is something you have been working hard to bring into being. With a little more trust in your own spiritual connection, you'll find the way easier and more joyful. You don't need to push yourself so hard. Don't allow your mind or the deranged ways of the world to create weariness and yet another drama. Take rest in the spiritual light of love. Rest from fear, rest from anxiety, rest from needing to work it all out right now. Even on your most confusing or most productive days, you can find renewal in spirit. It is always available to you, even right now. This is reiterating that need to take time to just simply enjoy being this self that you know you are to be, instead of consistently chipping away or working at the old self in defense of the new self, like maybe you've been, right? Like I said, who are you convincing? And why does anybody need convincing? Yourself included. The second guidance card was Sacred Scar, card number 11. It says your inner and outer scars are marks of your soul's courage. They are signs of strength and survival, of your willingness to be alive. The sacred scar speaks of that which once caused pain being transformed into higher knowledge and inner power. Trauma shall be transformed through spiritual initiation, leading you from woundedness to wisdom. You have nothing to be ashamed of. You can trust your healing process and the hidden higher purpose behind things happening as they do. You are strong, and you shall flourish on all levels. Some experiences are harder to weather. Even when our intention is to trust, going through a challenging time is likely to give rise to suffering. Consider the mother eagle raising her precious babies in the sanctuary of a meticulously padded and fiercely defended nest. They know safety and comfort until one day the mother who provided unceasing nurturance abruptly pushes them out of the nest and into the air. She knows this is how they will learn that they can fly. For the baby eagle, there is not yet any such knowledge. disoriented and disturbed, but eventually innate instinct overtakes confusion, and those brave little baby eagles begin to flap their fledgling wings during the plummet from the nest. They have learned the purpose of the tough lesson and grown. The trauma of disruption became their initiation into power. You don't have to enjoy the process of growth, but you can always trust it has your best interests at heart. However, do not confuse negative, especially traumatic experiences as something Spirit has inflicted upon you. Spirit would love your growth to happen in the most joyful and peaceful ways possible. As your relationship to Spirit heals and strengthens, this can be the way you grow more often than not. Spirit also knows that sometimes we are to move through intense experiences before we can gain access to the light. Those experiences can teach us things only those who have truly suffered and brought their suffering to consciousness and healing can know. The lessons learned include compassion, wisdom, strength and fearlessness, faith in Spirit and in humanity, and the recognition of the challenges of awakening while having trust in the ultimate power of the light. Such a soul becomes one truly badass and divine human being, a powerful healer and a light bearer in the world. The Oracle of Sacred Scar lets you know that your greatest struggles are the pathway to your potential. You are not being punished, nor were you ever. Those circumstances have not been imposed upon you by Spirit. But Spirit will work with you to free you of negativities and bring you into the light, stimulating the sacred alchemical wisdom within your heart that knows how to distill goodness, grace, and healing from even the most terrible experiences. If you are in deep suffering now, know that Spirit is with you, loving you, and bringing you this oracle that you shall heal. Do not give up. Proceed until you are exactly where you most want to be. You have the inner spirit to ensure a negative experience will only cause positive growth in you and your life. You see, there is a reason for this divine pause, right? Where you don't need to defend your ideal self anymore, but simply love that you are it, right? That you don't need to convince yourself or anyone that you are not the same, because you know you're not. You simply don't act the same. You don't think the same, perceive the same. You don't look at the past as an experience that life was hurting you or Spirit was after you or that you were being punished, but rather you are being taught your own strength, being taught to listen to your own instincts, being taught to recognize when you see something in the outer experience or witness something in the outer experience and know it's wrong, and therefore you would never do that to anyone. And knowing that all of these traumas and trials and tests and tribulations have made you something better. That is the guidance from Spirit. That's what maybe you're missing. The accepting reality as ideal. So I hope that helps, because this is the last reading for the year 2021. I do look forward very much to reading for you next year. My love and support is with you always. Take care.